Welcome to Hello World video number 5. For this one, I intended to discuss JavaDoc. When you install the JDK, one of the tools you get is JavaDoc. But when we generate the Java documentation for our project, you can see we end up with a whole bunch of HTML files and other files in this same directory. Well, that's kind of messy. We really need to start having a project directory structure where we separate out the Java files and the HTML files and the class files and so forth. So in this video, I'm going to talk about Maven, which is a project build and management tool. So first of all, let's get rid of all these files that I generated because I really don't want to check those into version control. Okay, Apache Maven. The URL is maven.apache.org. We're going to run through the Maven in 5 minutes, but first let's go look what is Maven. A Yiddish word meaning accumulator of knowledge. You can read this for yourself, but basically it's a way to make the build process easier, standardize on the build process, quality project information, guidelines for best practices, and allow transparent migration to new features. So let's go through in 5 minutes. First thing, let's make sure that I have installed Maven correctly and it can detect the version. Let's get out of HelloWorld first, because we're going to generate things directly from the Git directory here and create another project. Maven -- version. Okay, we have Maven 3.6.0 installed. So it should print out something like this, which it did. First thing we need to do is run this command to generate the project. And you can see that it's just going to call it my-app. So that's the directory structure we should get underneath cgit. Okay, build success. dir. So now in addition to Hello World, we have this my application. Let's see what kind of directory structure we have under there. So far, we have a source directory, and that's separated out into main and test. Our main class is called app.java. Our test class is called app test.java. And you can see app.java starts out with just a Hello World class, just like we generated before. In this case, we specified our package was going to be com my company app. And of course, instead of running it with all the defaults like I did, you can make that specific to your company and application and so forth. The other thing we have is this Pom XML file. So here it shows the source, the directory structure, and the Pom. Ours should look something like this. Let's just open it in Notepad. Yep, looks pretty similar. And I think POM stands for Project Object Model. Doesn't necessarily say that here. Okay, next we're going to package our application. Okay, it ran the tests as part of that. There was 1 success, 0 failures, 0 errors, and 0 that were skipped. So this is a good way to incorporate unit testing into your build process. Now, in addition to a source directory, we have a target directory after running that command. It has all our classes and all the other dependency classes that are needed, and it bundled everything into a deployable jar file. Okay, now we can test this newly compiled and packaged jar file. You can run the jar itself with the Java command. So it's saying the class path is underneath the target directory, and it's that jar file. And then we run that app.java class, and we should get HelloWorld. There we go. So that's yet another way to create a simple HelloWorld project, but it also gives you kind of a neat and clean web directory structure and so forth. One other thing we can do is generate a website for this project. And you can see it through an error. It did this before when I was trying out this stuff. So you can actually copy and paste this error here and look it up and get an answer for what you need to do. You need to add some code to the Pom.xml file. So here's the specific plugin to add, but that's only part of the solution. You need to know where that plugin goes. So you need a build section. Here's the beginning of it, end of it, a plugins, plural section. And then you need to put your plugin underneath that. So if I go to my temp text file, excuse me, I've already got all that in here. So let's copy that. Open up our XML file. Add a build section and run it again. Now it works. So now under target, we have a site directory that just got created. Add 853. And we can go out to our project website. So it just has project information and then all of these other sections. There's dependencies. So it's dependent on JUnit for the unit testing that it does. And you can see there's other things you can add to your Pom XML file and other XML files to define this stuff which will end up on your website. You can get fancy and even have sections for project organization, build information, and you can link to some other homepage for your project where maybe you've defined all the people that are working on it and so forth. Or you can actually inject that all into your Pom XML file and have a neat little section here with the people in your project and what roles they play and even pictures of them, and you can get as fancy as you want to get. But this is the basics. So I'll stop here, and then next time there is a Java doc plugin for Maven, so I'll install that and get it working, and we can actually generate our Java documentation like I originally intended for this video. So until next time.